5th inside Bridgestone Arena. Florida and Tennessee, the 4-5 matchup.
That is back to
Florida starts
16.
man-to-man nice slip by John Polk starting lineup. Tyron Yap will be the point guard. Now we welcome in our point guard, Carl Ravitch. Ravi, you with me, buddy?
I'm with you, buddy.
You were just anticipating that I was going to have another 4 minute soliloquy in the open. I know how you think.
We've become trained for that. So, yeah, I did shut that down. But you're right. Good start as Fulkerson makes that first bucket. And now it's Santiago Vescovi and Yves Pons playing catch with it. Double teamed as Omar Payne gets the start.
Tennessee. Random ball screen offense. It gets Mann going downhill and Appleby.
Right there in the corner, 33 into the game for Tennessee. They discussed a couple of things with Fulkerson. As Johnson drives, kicks to an open Springer. That three is no good.
Just the concern of Springer and Johnson being able to make plays. And
Castleton block.
can you rebound out of the zone if you're Florida? That is the question.
Pons work. Yep, that's something to keep an eye on. How frequently yesterday did we see Mann create with a dribble drive, absorb the blow, and then flip it up with that right hand. Similar to that. That time it didn't go. It gets it to Osifo.
The regimented system that is set up that we've been doing for the last 4 weeks around championship. It's unbelievable.
Having the pulse of the student athletes in our league. How would you sum up the pulse of our student athletes in terms of what they've been through, the discipline, the isolation, all the things that they've done to allow us to continue to play?
Well, it's been hard, and I think they would observe that, but it's been worthwhile.
Bailey gets that ball to roll over the rim, 14-8. Tennessee leading Florida. And the commissioner, Greg Sankey of the SEC, joining Jimmy Dykes and me, Carl Ravitch. Look, everybody would love to turn the page and have crystal balls. We've proven that that's impossible. And yet you remain...
Hey, if we don't want to play, tell me so we can get to work. But, again, the competitive...
They doing that.
Yeah, well, Tennessee's got big defenders that can match his size. Right now, Keon Johnson on him. And you see Tennessee coming with heavy gap, full body protection on any Tre Mann drive. That's how you defend him.
Appleby freed himself off two side of Noah Locke,
and he's not on the floor right now. So the gap defense by Tennessee gets even heavier.
Ball on the ground, and it comes away with Florida. That's Payne who had it. Lewis, freakishly good athlete in his own right. Payne hits the floor. Anthony DeRugi's got the ball on the wing, and he'll launch a mid-range two.
Yeah, DeRugi took the shot that Tennessee wanted him to take. There's Polky again.
Christian. He, like many of the guys on Tennessee, have been kind of dealing with nagging injuries. They feel as if they're as healthy as they've been in a while. Uzziah Jordan-James, number 5, been dealing with a wrist. That seems to have now fixed itself, or he fixed it. As Appleby goes in amongst the trees, Mann needs one.
The defense is up at all. He did it yesterday. He's done it all season long. Not pressing quite as much, therefore not fouling quite as much over the last month.
Yves Pons post. Three fouls each team. The bench as he picked up his second personal. Strong drop. Tre Mann all the way to the rack. Yves Pons got a hand on that one too.
That's a made basket against anyone else in this league other than Yves Pons.
Springer wide open three. Take a look at that. Did he get both feet back in?
No, he absolutely did.
Looked that way.
Yeah. And Fulkerson goes out of bounds under, but comes back in and has the high IQ to get both feet set. Very good 15 to 18 foot jump shot team that day, because all the other things are in place.
Travel. Johnson, yep, he walked with it. Back to
10. I think there's eight that can win the national championship. We saw one of them earlier, Alabama.
The way they play, they certainly did. Oh my gosh, Yves Pons just ate the basketball. Appleby had nowhere to go, like a giant cloud over his head, swallowed it up.
Ate the basketball. as good a description as I've heard from you this year. And he is so good at keeping his body off of yours. Very difficult to get into his chest.
Tennessee's got 5 blocks in the game, and the Gators continue to struggle from the outside. They've missed 5 threes, 2 of 7.
And the Bigs continue to run for Tennessee, and that's what happened.
He broke down then, too, as a high schooler and said it was a dream come true. You mentioned it, out of Kingsport, Tennessee. 6'9", and boy, was that an impactful moment for him. Man needs one to fall, and he can't get it. He was free. He's 0 for 6 right now.
90 minutes from Knoxville. It will be very difficult for him, I think, to take that jersey off for Castleton. We talked about Alabama, the 3rd best defense in the country coming into today. Tennessee right behind him, number 4. You're seeing it on display. Tennessee a little more physical in how they go about the game. I think he knows the physical play can bother Florida. Therefore, Plavsic gets some run. High flat ball screen early, trying to get an early post up for Fulkerson. Keep the ball moving side to side if you're Tennessee.
Appleby mismatch, and he man back in. Lewis drops it off to nearly trying to throw it down, and he was denied. Bailey the other way with a push, and Scotty Lewis punching the stanchion on the other end. He wanted DeRuggi to finish that.
The flying Frenchman comes in again. Multi-talented is Yves Pons. He can do just about anything you want for a weekend. A cool guy to hang out with. But what he cannot do is try to go to the rim when 35 in white is near the restricted arc. The power and the explosiveness.
Going 0 for 6 from the floor, looking for his first points at 22. In the win yesterday, he was outstanding driving the basketball.
Good switch by Pons, just ate it up.
Fulkerson's got Mason Jitobo, who's into the game for Florida, on him. And Fulkerson fade, no good. Look at Johnson grab that rebound.
Kick, didn't get caught with unorganized feet or unorganized hands off of a fast pass.
And you wondered the first basket man scores. Will that be the seal is broken and he can go
to the point that they're very aggressive? I heard you talking about before the ball game, the importance of Tennessee playing fast. I think that's why now they're a legitimate second weekend team.
Tournaments, but how that works with regards to the NCAA tournament. Vescovi, hands were high when record for an SEC tournament, so he's 2/3 of the way there.
I described Alabama defensively in the first game. All 3 have to be operating at a high level. He has seen everything early, and his feet are covering to the action. He can erase mistakes by his teammates as well as anyone we've had in this league in a long, long time. Just his quickness and his explosiveness, his recovery length and keeper
in France. So he got his legs into a lot of his activities when he was young by practicing, observing his mom. You could see his emphasis on leg strength and his ability to jump certainly helps him when a time, Rabbi.
They're forcing the action just like Rick Barnes wants.
Tre Mann, yesterday he turned a corner and find a lane. Today he turns a corner and finds a white jersey.
Don't foul now. Just sit down and guard.
On the shot clock.
Oh, wow. And Tennessee played unbelievable defense.
Springer, good defense by Tre Mann. Vescovi bounces to Pons. He's trapped in there. Little prospects to play in college. He ended up at Cleveland State, and he's consistently outperformed the expectations. As Mann fades away. More good defense and fight.
It all starts with your juice up top on both ends.
Good defense, Tre Mann.
That would be their lowest ever in the Ken Pom era if that number continues.
Here's Mann, and again, that time it was the hands of either Springer or Johnson. I think it was Springer who knocked it away, and it was.
Tre Mann has only been held to single figures 7 times all year.
That's where the ball went. Bad pass. Pons picked up Tre Mann. Says Osifo gave way. Still 10 on the shot clock. Is Johnson rises, comes up short. Fulkerson deflects it out. And it'll be Florida basketball. They try to run with Appleby.
Carl, that was probably the most physical Florida has been so far in this game. Defensive
Player on the floor for Florida. And a real hard guy to guard. Mann takes it. That's that absorption. Him last year, a lot of outside distractions and noise. If you were to imagine taking headsets and turning the volume down, he did
have a quick whistle if anything looks like it's going to escalate here in the next few minutes. Using Tre Mann as a screener into the ball screen for Castleton. Screen the screener into the ball screen. Now Tre Mann's tucked away in the corner. Good offense.
Man.
Screener. And then they kind of snuck him way in the far corner, and he slid up for the slot 3.
Springer deep in. Six blocks for Yves Pons today. Didn't get a hand on that one, but he certainly altered the shot. Teams. As Vescovi launches a 3 and misses, we just saw Fulkerson leave with a hit injury after taking an elbow from Omar Payne, a flagrant truth. He's been thrown out.
Ravi, I just talked to the Tennessee program, and they tell me that Fulkerson's still being evaluated by the team physician back in the locker room. He's not ruled out of the...
Man missed that shot. Pons straight.
Tre Mann with 9 points in the game. On the year, Florida is 15 points better per 100 possessions. Young man that can back up that sweatshirt, write your own story. Yep, he is all about the right things, Keon.
And guys, after Keon Johnson collapsed, Mike White made the decision, we're just going to cancel the rest of the out-of-conference season. Let everybody be away for Christmas. And he said at that point that they weren't even sure if they were going to continue the season.
They'll try to double back and trap if they get an opportunity. Good job by Johnson not to get his back to the basket. How about his coach? What concerns him? Before he can finish the sentence, he'll say defensive board play and turnovers. That number 13 right now for Florida is getting a little high. Big boy drive Jatobo if you're Pons.
Here we go with 5 on the shot clock. Appleby got his way this season to be a 15, 18-point scorer. He has no points yet. Jatobo, Pons picks up block.
Shot that ball from the slot. Shooters love that. There's something about the vision of the rim in that slot. I talked about it about a month ago. And Noah Locke sees it as well.
Closest the Gators have been in a while, down 8. Johnson. You've got some big boys on this basketball court. It shows you just how big Jatobo is. Tre Mann, that open guy for a 3 after a drive. Castleton,
half-court offense. One more.
Zensev trying hard, and he forced that ball into Castleton, led to a turnover. Johnson, the drive, and a charge. Keon Johnson will take a break. Man,
our defense is good enough to create some turnovers right now. We can get hot. Back-to-back stops, back-to-back makes is what Florida needs.
Bailey. Springer isolated on Zensev right by.
I think it's a really good piece for Mike White to have going forward. I know it is. Spread out ball screen for Castleton. Tennessee's handled it all day long.
Man, see you later. That ball
finishes off for Purdue with a touch. Hard to handle. Big body kid that can play.
Pons, he's starting the game with. A team that has, in the football side, never won a Heisman Trophy, Jimmy. They have the Heisman pose going and never let Florida get close.
Back-to-back makes. Your Tennessee just don't turn it over.
Keon Johnson a hawk. Vescovi rarely goes to his right. He'll kick it to Pons. Thinks about it. Now throws up.
Get downhill, Tre Mann. Get downhill.
Boy, nearly got away with a walk, and it's a Sifo no. Mann went up for it. Good athleticism by Pons. A run out, Springer.
Did you say earlier about Pons? He ate it up.
He ate the basketball.
He ate the basketball. Scotty would have done the same thing.
Appleby's three, no good, and here comes Johnson.
Gosh, is he good.
They put up that Heisman pose again, just when it felt like Florida could make a run. It's back to 16. Mann, three ball. They have made the shots today. Vescovi knocks in his fourth three. Then it's back to 16 as Mann goes to the rack. He gets fouled.
Keep it moving. Florida's trying to trap the life out of you.
Pons in the paint. Mann not when it comes to keeping them at bay.
Yeah, Appleby
the floor and breaking the press.
Appleby the only other guy in double figures with 10. Haven't called Castleton's name a lot in this ball game. Boy, the strength of Yves Pons. How you judge teams. How far can they go? Is their best good enough? Tennessee's best is good enough to go really far in that NCAA tournament. Right away, and I love the fact they bring a cutout for J-Bo to be sitting on the bench with him in this tournament.
Scotty Lewis, unfortunately, has shot more air balls than he has made baskets today. He continues to have no points. Springer smothered underneath, and the ball goes to Josiah Jordan James. And a lead 16 with under 2 to go as James now has a dozen. Appleby, no one there, but Johnson fouls him and he'll have a chance for a 4-point play.
The one thing you couldn't do if you're Tennessee. And Keon Johnson just an effort mistake. Jumps at a shooter in transition right here. He's inside the three-point line and jumps outside the three-point line into a shooter. And the toughness of Appleby to hit.
Johnson fouls out, 12-point game. And an easy break. Pons wants the alley-oop. Instead, he gets a 5 on the shot clock. Vescovi, that's his shot.
Team today. If you watch this game and show your team as a coach, this is how you're supposed to play in March. You fight your guts out. You're there for your teammates. You make physical plays. Just watch this game, how it was played. He didn't respond and go nuts over the foul call. He listened to the official make the call. He gathered his team up. And what could have been a very hard, difficult situation that could have escalated, those two head coaches handled it like the pros that they are.
Yves Pons gets credit. He picked up his 8th block. I don't think he'll get one there, which would have been his 9th there.
The real question mark for Tennessee is John Fulkerson, the health of Fulke. Will he be available tomorrow?